I welcome you to the second semester tutorial. And this time we are on the tutorial that is the number 2 in the series. And the topic is paragraphing. We discussed paragraphing at length in our classroom discussions. And so I want to just go through some of the key issues that can help you perform well in your examination. In the first place, what is a paragraph? A paragraph is a group of words that are related and we discuss one theme or topic or subject. A group of words related and they discuss one theme or subject or topic. There could be a group of words which may begin with a capital letter and end in a full stop. Physically, if you see it, you might think that could be a paragraph. Naturally, that should be, because you see it and how you see it it's supposed to be a paragraph. That is good. So that was the physical properties of a paragraph. But if you want to go into the content of a paragraph, you can see that sometimes what looks like a paragraph may not actually be. And we'll talk about that briefly later. So a paragraph is a group of words that are related and discuss one central theme. I give an example, like if I say my mother is hardworking, and I put it down as the first sentence, we are expecting that every sentence that follows that one will help to develop that central idea, which is a topic sentence. So every sentence in the paragraph then must help to talk about my mother's hard work. If somewhere along the line, I begin to talk about my mother's social life in that particular paragraph, then that particular sentence or sentences will be odd because they do not contribute to the development of the theme in that small paragraph. So, paragraph. What then do we do? Why do we do paragraphing? Why do we do paragraphing in writing? Do paragraphing so that it helps us to be able to organize our text in a coherent order. The passage or the paragraph or the whole text becomes well organized. Each unit, which is the paragraph now, discusses one theme like that sequentially until the paragraphs or the essay or the writing is finished. So paragraphing helps us to be able to write in a coherent way. Why do we use paragraph in writing? The same thing. We write using paragraphs so that our ideas will flow smoothly and become well organized. So we can achieve cohesion and then coherence. Now, the introductory paragraph, we discussed in class that it helps to be able to do one or two things. One, the introductory paragraph may house or may accommodate the thesis statement. Normally, in a very long text, you see, you must declare a thesis statement. The first paragraph may house it. The first paragraph may also be used to, that is the introductory paragraph, used to declare the structure or your intention or the purpose or to lay background to whatever you are going to write. So that particular paragraph is very important to state the thesis statement, to use it to declare the structure, to use it as a background information, to declare the purpose, the function. Are you writing to entertain somebody? Are you writing to inform? Are you writing to educate? All those things could be stated in the introductory paragraph. Now, when we talk about introductory paragraph, then quickly let's also talk about a concluding paragraph. The concluding paragraph has so many functions. Depending upon the type of essay you're writing, we mentioned that. You can use it to give recommendation. If it is an official letter you're writing, you are using the concluding sentence concluding paragraph to restate your point and to express the hope that your request will be met. If you're a debater, you are writing, you are using the last paragraph to restate your stance and to invite your audience to vote for you. That is to stand with you or to support you. If it is a speech you're writing, maybe the last paragraph could be used to give advice, to give a recommendation, and to invite your audience to an action. So the last paragraph is very important, and to the concluding paragraph. It's important and can be used in different ways. We mentioned these in our discussions in class. Talking about the paragraph, let's look at the internal constituents. When you see a paragraph and you begin to read it, you probably may see a topic sentence. The topic sentence actually helps to define the scope of whatever you're writing. If, for example, it will guide you, you're writing about my mother, and then the first sentence is say, my mother is hardworking. Whatever you want to describe in that small unit, which is a paragraph, should always be about my mother's hard work. So even as a writer, the topic sentence guide is to be able to define the scope of what you want to write in that small unit. Then to the reader, because the ideas are placed in such a way that one idea is expressed in one paragraph, it gives the reader the opportunity to read smoothly and see how your text is well organized. The text is well organized. So without a topic sentence in a paragraph, I don't know how we're going to organize that text. It's possibly going to be the case that all the sentences will be in disarray, and that will affect the final product or the final outcome or the output, final output of writing. Then comes the major support and minor support sentences. What is their importance? Major support sentences and minor support sentences provide evidence to support the topic sentence. They provide evidence. They provide evidence and examples to support the topic sentence. The concluding sentence, as it sounds, means that it may restate the main points in the topic sentence, or maybe summarizes the paragraph. And sometimes it can also give us a hint of what we expect in the next paragraph. So basically, these are the things you may see in referring to the constituents of a paragraph. Now, at the level, our text that we write must achieve cohesion and coherence. Cohesion and coherence are words that we always see together, but there's a slight difference. Cohesion may deal with the intra-sentential connection between sentences. I-N-T-R-E. Intra-sentential, in other words, noun and noun must link together. Noun and noun, maybe using conjunctions. You are using repetition. We are using antonyms to connect ideas. So in class, you remember we talk about how a major support sentence and its minor are linked, sometimes through repetition. You see an idea is introduced in sentence 3, and you see that, or sentence 2, and you see the one which follows it supports the one which is mentioned earlier. And one of the things that we said we can use to be able to decipher, to be able to identify whether this is major following by minor is sometimes a repetition. You see a word in sentence 4, you see the same word being repeated in sentence 5 or 6. There are cases where we also have to use what we call pronouns. Basically, we talk about anaphora and cataphora. Pronouns, a word is, a noun is mentioned or the name is mentioned in the first sentence. See, like the next one, the name could be repeated in a way, but sometimes you use a pronoun. The technical term we discuss in class is what? Anaphora or cataphora. And then when you visit your notes, you can see all these things again. Then, so better coherence comes when there is cohesion. In other words, cohesion must be there before coherence. When there is coherence, the whole writing achieves unity. The whole writing achieves unity. So there's a unified whole. But without cohesion, it could be difficult to achieve coherence. So when we look at these two terms, one is at a micro level, and the other is at a macro level. In other words, it's like you are drawing a Venn diagram where one side is another one. So basically, the text must have achieved cohesion to become coherence. Sorry, to become coherent. It must achieve cohesion first in order to achieve coherence. So what are some of the techniques? I mentioned some of the techniques already. Cohesion, you can use lexical cohesion, that is using words. And but then we can also use a grammatical cohesion, which has to do with either we are connecting an idea to another idea using so grammatical cohesion. We talk about things like substitution, ellipsis, and then the use of anaphora and cataphora, using pronouns and referring back to a name that is already mentioned. Very good. Then we talk about lexical cohesion, where we talk about also repetition, synonyms, antonyms, meronyms. So look out for these things in the examination. You are not going to see it's not a written test where you are going to they ask you to write, but now this concept are applied in an objective test question where they provide answers for you to select the best out of options that are provided for you. But the same thing that we are doing now will help you to be able to answer the questions. Why do we use linking words? We use linking words because it helps us to be able to connect ideas in the text and so that our ideas will flow smoothly. And the importance of a topic sentence in a sentence, in a paragraph, help us to be able to organize our text because it guides us and it guides us and helps us to define the scope of whatever you are writing in a very small unit. The relevance of linking words is uh, to connect transitional paragraphs. Transitional paragraphs, sorry, traditional words help us to organize our text correctly. But now let's look at if you have the introductory paragraph and a concluding paragraph, you're going to have what we call transitional paragraphs in between the introductory and the concluding. So we use linking words to connect those transitional paragraphs. Furthermore, in addition to and all that. We talked so much about the introductory paragraph already and the concluding paragraph also already. And so we don't have much to add. When a text is not, the paragraph is not well organized, what happens? It may lead to a paragraph or a text. If I read ideas are not related in a paragraph, the final product will be that the paragraph will be non-coherent. The paragraph will be non-coherent if ideas are not well linked, ideas are not related. You write and the product, the final product will be a piece of text which is not coherent. It's not coherent. So we said a lot, and then at this point, I think I'll just have to sign off. Now, some of the questions that I think you should focus on will be, why do we organize our writing in a paragraph? Why do we use a topic sentence in writing? What is the relevance of transitional words in paragraph development? What is coherence? What is cohesion? Basically, those are some of the things that I want you to focus on so that perhaps you may see similar things in exam. I'm posting this particular tutorial, but I will not share the link with you, with students. You will see it because you have subscribed. If you do not subscribe, you cannot see it. And I may choose to share links in the next tutorial or not to share. When I post these things, those who have subscribed will see them. I can choose to share or not to share. The choice is mine. For this one, I'm not going to share any link. So I wish you well. If you have any concerns, you can address them through my WhatsApp. You direct them to me through my WhatsApp line. Bye.